Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Rose, and in today's video we are talking about relocating. Okay, so today we are going to discuss some countries that if you relocate to those countries, you would have been better off staying in Kenya. Okay, this is a topic we actually covered. We have covered it here on YouTube on one of my live stream, and we covered it about 3 weeks ago on a live stream on my TikTok. Okay, and we are actually gonna continue that discussion today. Today we are going to continue that because we left it halfway, and we wanted to share names and flags of those countries that if you move to those countries, my friend, you are better off staying in Kenya, because I know a lot of you are all about relocating. I want to relocate. I want to go to a place where I can have more opportunities. I want to go a place where I can find a job, you know, and just better my life. And it's a good thing, of course, I absolutely understand. But even as you're looking to relocate, whether you're relocating there via, you know, finding a visa, you know, or finding somebody who is willing to sponsor you to relocate to that country. Some countries, you won't have a lot of opportunities, my sister. Okay, so this is something I think I have also talked about on one of my videos. I talked about when you're looking at a country, you have to look at the economy. First of all, you have to look at the economy. You have to look at the political temperature of that country. There are a lot of things you have to look at, and I mentioned minimum wage as well. Now, when it comes to European countries, you have to understand that some European countries are in Europe, but they are not actually in the European Union, okay? Some countries are not in the Schengen area. Therefore, if you move to that country, that means if you want to maybe go and find the opportunity somewhere else, you have to apply again to go to that country. Okay, for example, you could move to one country and then you're like, oh my god, there are more opportunities in Germany. Okay, I wanna apply to go and find a job in Germany, or maybe I have found a job in Germany and I want to apply. That application is gonna be so complicated. It's gonna be so complicated. But if you were actually in the, let's say for example, if you were in a country that is in the EU and you have, let's say, residential papers and work permit for that particular country, it would have been easier for you to also find a job in another country within the EU. I don't know if you get my point. So there are some countries that if you look at those countries, you find that their young people are actually moving from those countries and going to work somewhere else. Okay? That is a clear indication to you that there are no opportunities for their young people. Just like there are not a lot of opportunities for our young people in Kenya, that means there are also no opportunities for those young people in that country. That's why they are working in Germany, in France, in Norway, in Sweden, in Denmark, in, you know, those places. So as you're looking into relocate, look so keenly into the country where you're going, and not only that, look into the area that you're moving into, because the another thing is you could move to a country that is fairly okay opportunity wise, based on what maybe you have seen on social media or what maybe you have read. But then you move to that country and then you find yourself in a place where there is nothing happening. There is no cash flow. There is nothing happening. You can't find anything. Then what was the point? What was the point? And the issue here is, it's not just a case of, oh, Rose, I want to relocate. Like, I don't care. I just want to relocate. And especially those of you who are doing online dating, you're like, oh, I have found this guy and, you know, he's gonna help me and we're gonna move to his country. Okay. If you're moving because of love, then that is a different case, because it really doesn't matter, does it? Like, it doesn't matter whether the guy will move to your country, let's say to Kenya, and live there with you. It doesn't matter whether you'll move to his country. Although, even in that case, you still need to socialize. You still need to do something with your life. You cannot go there and get stuck somewhere and say, I'm in love, so now I'm stuck here. I have nothing. There's no cash flow. Your people back home know that you have moved, Maju. You are abroad now. You're living abroad. So those phone calls are coming, text messages are coming, and you don't know what to do, because this is what happens. I mean, come on, let's be honest. This is what happens as an African. You move abroad, you are expected to send money back home. Unfortunately, that's how it is. Like, that's how it is. So tell me how you're going to deal with your mental health when you move somewhere where even you yourself, you're struggling, and then people are sending you messages, they need money, they need this, and this is what is happening back home, and since you are abroad, we need this, we need help. This is why you're finding people are ending up in very bad situations. They are falling into addiction. They are falling into depression. They are falling into a lot of things, because you're somewhere and you're stuck and you can't tell people back home, and you haven't found a job. The language is so difficult. Some of these European languages are very difficult. And I know as Africans, we are like, I can learn any language. You know, there's some languages that are so difficult. Like, it's gonna take you time for you to learn that language. And unfortunately, when you go to these countries where you have to learn the language, chances of you even finding a simple job, a very simple job, chances are you're not gonna find that simple job unless you can at least speak the basic, you know, just being able to have basic communication in that language. So tell me now, you're sitting there, okay, maybe you're even learning the language, but then you're stuck in the middle of nowhere. You can't do anything. You can't make any money. Why? Look into those countries, guys. Look into those countries. See what opportunities you have. Because for me, I feel like the reason why you want to relocate, okay, fine, maybe you do want to date outside your culture, outside your continent, outside your race, but you also maybe want to find opportunities. Okay, you want to go there and also work and maybe uplift your family back home, or uplift yourself. Maybe you have children, or you have a kid, or maybe you don't, but you do want to better your life. I don't see the point of moving to a place where you don't have those options anyway. You don't have an option to make anything. You don't have an option to go back to school if that's what you wanted to do. As I said, some of these countries, you find some European countries, even some that are already in the EU, you find their people are moving to other European countries because there's nothing there for them. There's nothing there for young people. The economy is so bad. Some countries are so corrupt. And this is another thing. When it comes to corruption, you know, when you look at the reporting of corruption, and you look at Africa, you know, Africa poor, Africa corrupt, Africa everything. But then you go to these countries and they have cute names for their corruption. They have brown envelopes. You know, if you submit a brown envelope, suddenly your things will move faster. Suddenly something will be done. Whatever it is that was so difficult suddenly becomes so easy. Okay, you find, as we spoke on my live stream, the one that I just had this Sunday, we spoke about, you know, you even finding a job. The minimum wage is already low, okay? You're working long hours, like you're working long hours, you're so tired, but the money is so little, and yet, even though the money is little, they're still cutting that money. You know, they're still taking your money from you, because what they're doing is, you find some of these countries, they don't want to declare you to the labor office the full hours that you're working. So that means your benefits are taken away, your allowances are taken away, your bonuses are taken away, okay? And then when it comes to insurance, this person is not paying the amount that he's supposed to be paying towards your insurance, because he has declared you that you're working 4 hours a day. and you're working, I don't know, 8-10 hours a day. So if you go to a country or if you read about the country, or you speak to your boyfriend about his country, and then you find that he's telling you, like for example, where he works is like, I work, but the money that goes to my bank account is half, and then I get the rest by cash. Be careful. Be careful. When you work all your money, when you're working legally, you have a legal documents to live in to live and work in that country. You have your tax papers, you have your work permit, your residential, you have everything that is required for you to work legally in that country. All your money should be deposited in your bank account. That's how it works. Like you cannot even find a job unless you already have a bank account. Legally, that's how it works. So now, if you find that you're going to end up in a country where your money is not being deposited, the whole amount is not being deposited into your bank account, you're being paid half by cash and half now is being deposited into your bank account, just know that is corruption. That is corruption. They're stealing from you and they're stealing from their government. That is what is happening. Because they don't want to pay taxes, they don't want to declare the number of employees they have and the hours that the employees are working. And this is why, I get so pissed off when we talk about corruption in Africa, and yet you find some countries, you go there, you watched my story, okay? You watched my story about how I was scammed with that IVF issue. How was that possible? Ask yourself. Such a big, big clinic, big thing. How was that able to happen? You find these places, even like there was a case actually I was reading on a newspaper. I usually read my newspaper online, and there was this case where there was this nursing home where the residents were being mistreated. Therefore, there was an investigation. But when they came to close down the investigation, to close down the nursing home and arrest people, because a lot of residents had actually lost their lives there because of mistreatment. Tell me why they are finding like over 200,000 euros in cash. In those offices of those people. So be very careful which country you end up into, because you could end up in a place where you will live there for years and years, and you will never be able to do anything with your life there. You'll never be able to make any money. You're gonna be misused. You're gonna be working long hours. It's not that you're lazy, okay? You're working. You're gonna be working long hours. You're gonna be so tired, and when you look at your bank account, you're like, oh my goodness, like, why? Another thing I want to address when it comes to relocation. When you get involved with somebody who is from a particular country, but he doesn't live in his country, he lives in another country, that also makes things very difficult. Okay, you could live in that country. Let me give you an example. Let's say the guy is from Romania, right? And he lives in Germany, right? Or he lives in France, because they do that. They come from those countries, they go and work in France, they go and work in Germany, they go and work in those big countries. If you go and live in, let's say you get married to him and then you are able to move to Germany or to France. The problem with that is, even though you will be able to get residential papers to be able to work and maybe live in that country, the paperwork is so complicated. And another issue is, unless you go back and live in his country for a certain period of time, you're not going to earn the right to be able to have, let's say, the citizenship of that country. It's going to take... it's gonna be so difficult for you to do that. And another issue is the country where you're living is also gonna be very difficult for you again to get the citizenship of that country. So, and there are even other issues where there are some countries where you are not going to be given like a permanent residency. You're going to keep renewing your residential papers, which is headache, dealing with immigration every year or maybe every 2 years or every, like it's just a headache. Okay? So, in short, what I'm trying to say is this. Even as you're doing on your online dating, even as you're looking to relocate, look deep into that country that you're relocating to. Maybe make sure that the guy is actually a citizen of that country and you are going to live in that country. That way, when it comes to paperwork, it's easier. But also make sure that you have opportunities in that country. And as we mentioned on our live stream, we said that a lot of these people who move, let's say, from their countries in Europe to other countries, and then you meet that person and then they're like, well, I'm gonna marry you and then I'm gonna move you to this country where I am, but then they're like, I need you to do something. Okay, there's something I need you to do. And this is what we discussed. We talked about people who are actually moving African women from Africa to these countries for the purpose of putting them to work, if you get my drift. So these are not people who are actually attracted to African women, which I have mentioned before. These are people who just want to facilitate what I talked about on the video that I posted just recently about the fetish chasers. These are people who want to facilitate the fetish chasers, right? So they're like, well, since if I marry you, you know, the visa is not an issue. As we said, when it comes to Europe, once you get married, the visa is not so bad. It's not like the US, you have to wait for 3-4 years for CR1 visa, the spousal visa. So he marries you, he gets you to that country. Remember, this is not his country. He has moved from his country and now he's living in another country. Okay? So we talked about the issue of these women you see on social media. You know, they're like, oh, look at me, look at my lifestyle. And then you're like, how are they doing this? But these are people who are not allowed to do the normal work, you know, going and finding a job and just working and, you know, making your ends meet, you know, the normal way. These are people who have been put to do other jobs. So those are working chihuahuas. they're working, but they are not getting all the fruits of their labor, you know. You are not working and then you are getting all the money. They are working and then there is somebody who is like, okay, I bought you a Chanel bag, I bought you Chanel shoes, I bought you Dior, I bought you this. Therefore, now your allowance is this much, okay? And we say those are costumes. We said every time you see somebody, you know, showing how they are dressed up in these you know, expensive things. Some of them, they're just dressing like that because it's a uniform. It's a work uniform, okay? They are dressed like that because they are dealing with these people who expect them to dress like that. So it's included. It's included in the fee, okay? The clients are paying. You know, I want her to come dressed like this and, you know, looking like how people used to dress in the 60s. And she's only 21. So that's another issue you have to be careful of. Somebody moving you to a country where he's not from that country and then he wants to go and put you to work, okay? Unless, of course, you want to do it. In which case, as I said, if you want to do that, then make sure you're getting your coin yourself. Not somebody who is, you know, pimping you around and just getting your cash, and you're the one who is doing the hard work, the disgusting work. As I said, that girl who shared her story with me, she said that she's gonna be, the person who was taking her to that country was telling her, I'm gonna make sure that you're always dressed in these expensive clothes because you're going to be dealing with rich people and there is an image they expect, okay? There is a way they expect you to look. So you have to change your style, you know, you have to, you know, the person was dictating how she's gonna be doing her hair, you know, how she's gonna be dressed, you know, the dresses and everything. Like, there's a way you have to dress, because he said that you're gonna, all my clients, or all your clients, because he said you're the one who is gonna be dealing with the clients. I have found the clients, so it's your job to take care of the clients. These are people who are expecting you to look a certain way. Therefore, I'm gonna make sure you have the latest iPhone. I'm gonna make sure you have the latest Chanel, whatever, shoes, clothes, every Fendi, latest everything, high quality makeup. You know, I'm gonna make sure your nails are always done. You're going for facials, you're going for, sometimes you'll have to have your makeup professionally done, because this is how these people expect you to look. Okay, these are rich people, and they expect you, while you're going, you know, accompanying them for dinner or for whatever, there's a way you're supposed to look. I'm saying all this to show you that these are costumes. Okay, these are just uniforms. It's people just working. You know, there was a time I used to work at a jewelry shop, and we had this dress code, and unfortunately we were not given wardrobe allowance, so you had to spend your money to look a certain way. So you had to go and buy these clothes, you know, these official looking clothes. And then when I left that job, I was like, what am I gonna do with these clothes? Because some of them are not my style, but it's just a way that we were told, you know, you have to dress this way. Because there was even one time one girl came dressed in a way that, you know, it didn't fit, and then she was told, no, you have to go back and change. This is how I learned that these girls that you see dressing in a certain way is because they are dealing with old people. Because that shop, we used to sell to elderly people. Okay, people who have a lot of money. And even the designs, all the designs we had, you can see that they are catering for older people. Okay, so we were dressed in a way that you know, okay, it's modest, it's catering for older people. And actually, I feel like even when it comes to the United States, because we have talked about this also, there are some places you can be in the United States. Do you know, I was watching this reality show, or was it, it was a documentary actually. I was watching this documentary, and they were highlighting places in the United States that are so remote. They are so remote, some of them are not even connected to the electricity. And they're there saying, do you have electricity over there in Africa? There are some places where there is no the main power line. So, you know, I think I told you there was a lady who actually got involved with an American guy, and then they moved somewhere in the US. I don't remember which state it was, but they were so up the mountains. They were living somewhere up the mountains where they needed horses to go to the town. They used to go to the town, I don't know how many times a month. I don't know whether they were going twice a month or once a month to go and do shopping. So anyway, I'm just trying to open your eyes to show you that it's not just a case of just boarding a plane and relocating. Okay, it's also a case of looking into where you're going, where you're gonna end up, where you're gonna live. Because as I said, there's no point you going to a place where there is nothing. And another issue is, because this online dating, as I said, has become so popular, there are some countries where people, you know, maybe you meet somebody online and then you get talking, and then maybe you fall in love. You never know, you fall in love. But the place you're going to go, people are so backwards, they are so unexposed, like your life is going to be so difficult. Because as much as you love your husband, you still need to deal with other people. You still need to find a job. You still need to go to school and learn the language. Okay, so you do need to deal with other people. So you're going to a place where, you know, they're looking at you like you're children are scared of you. They see you, they run away. Oh my God, oh my goodness. There are some places that are so remote that people are not exposed. They see an African, they think you are some you know, strange creature. Be careful. Open your eyes. going to places I don't even know, like, because there was a girl who was like, oh, I want to relocate, I want to go to Colombia. People want to go to South America. South America, it's a place where their young girls are on those dating apps, just like you. They are on dating apps. They are looking for wazungus. They want to go to Europe. They want to go to America. They want to go to Canada. Okay, and even in this other European countries in Europe, there are some places in Europe that people are also, young girls are also on dating sites because they are looking to relocate, just like you. I mean, this place where there is a war going on right now, that place used to, in fact, I wrote an article, I think 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I don't remember. That place used to be known as the bride basket of Europe. Okay, the girls there used to just, find men. They even used to have matchmaking companies, and there was scamming people a lot with those matchmaking companies. A lot of Americans have been scammed. There was one guy actually I saw here on YouTube who lost over, I don't know, $300,000 on those websites. The matchmaking and the trips. They used to arrange trips that men should come from America and go to that country and meet their potential brides. But the thing is, those women were actually women who are already married with children, but they are just used to go to those meetings, and then they get their pay. They're paid by the company, and they go back home to their husbands, and then the Americans go back to America saying, oh, I have seen how she's gorgeous. As soon as he gets there, he sends more money, because they used to charge for translating services. They used to charge for gifts and flowers and diamond rings and chocolate and things, and all these things are done through the website. So what happens is they get the money for the flowers, and then they give the half to the girl and the other half the company, or a percentage. I don't know, maybe the girl gets 25%, maybe they keep 75%. That's how it used to work. So there are countries here that are doing that as well. There are countries in Europe that are doing that. The women are trying to relocate. So be careful. Like, if you go to a country where women there are already trying to relocate to go to other countries in Europe, or going to America, or going to Canada, that shows you that country it's in the same league as your country. Because if we are being honest, the main reason why online dating has become so popular is also that people are looking for other places to go and look for opportunities as well. As much as, yes, you are looking for somebody, but you also want to be somewhere else, right? So be careful. Look at those countries where you are looking to relocate to, okay? Make sure it's a place that you will be happy. Even as you are happy with your husband, it's a place where the environment is it's making it possible. It's conducive for you to thrive and succeed, okay? And be whatever it is that you want it to be. My name is Rose. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. Today on this channel, we talk about online dating, interracial dating, age gap dating, and relocating. Today we were talking about relocating and countries that you should not relocate to, countries that you would actually be better off just staying in Kenya. Maybe get the guy to relocate to Kenya if he can find a job there, or if he has a job that he can do remotely, online. Maybe you're better off just staying in Kenya. At least there, it's your home, you know your way around. If you want to start a business, you know how to do it. You have all your paperwork. You are a citizen of that country. That's the thing. This whole residential papers also, it's a headache, okay? You are in your own country. You know your own people. You know which offices you should go. You speak the language. You don't have to learn the language. Let him come and learn Swahili. And this is another thing. You go to these places, you go and stay with these people. You learn their language, you learn their culture. Some of them, they don't make an effort even to know how to say hello to your mother in Swahili. or in Kiluya, Kikuyu. You know, this is what I find, like, I feel like this is so, it's so unfortunate that we as African women, we are making an effort. And this is the thing, when we have this argument about, what are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing to the table? Like, for example, in the case of, oh, I'm paying the bills and I'm doing this, and I'm thinking, you are bringing a lot. You have sacrificed a lot. You have left your family. You have left your country where you are a citizen. You are a free human being. You can do whatever you want. You know, you have left your place where you are not being looked at and being told, because you are a different color, everybody is treating you differently. You go to the shop, everybody is following you around because they think you are going to steal. You know, you have left your friends, you have left your favorite food. Because let me tell you something, my sister, even as you move to Europe, to America, wherever it is you're going, even if you go to those African shops and buy things to make your food, it will never taste the same. So you have left your favorite food, you have left your saloonist. Because hair is the thing. I'm telling you, hair, especially in Europe, some countries in Europe, hair is a thing. It's a challenge. This is why you find a lot of African women, they move to Europe and they just cut their hair. Because you can't deal with it. You actually can't deal with it. So you are doing all this, you are learning a new language, you are learning a new culture, you are adjusting, you are learning so much, and this person cannot even bother to learn 3 or 4 words to be able to say hello to your parents in the language that they understand. But he's criticizing you, and his family and his friends, they are criticizing you when you mispronounce in their language. Make sure you go to a country where at least you can have something, you can do something. At least go to a place where there are a lot of people who can actually speak English. If you're coming from an English-speaking country, even as you learn that language, because you must. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter even if you're living in a city, you must learn that language, because when you go to the offices, then they look at you funny if you don't speak their language. So you will have to learn that language, and it's difficult. It's not easy. Trust me. It's not easy. So, well, thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. We're gonna continue with this conversation. We're gonna continue, looking at these countries. It's just that for this particular video, I cannot, go so deep into it. But when we have time, when I go live on Sunday, God willing, when I go live on Sunday, we're gonna come now, okay? We're gonna come and look at these countries and look at their economies, look at their minimum wage, look at all these things, and then look at the possibilities of you succeeding in those countries. And when I talk about this, I'm actually talking about you living maybe in a place where you're in the city or very close to the city where you can be able to go to work. Because, as I said, there are other places where even if you move there, even if you try to find a job, it's not possible. Some people are just forced to sit in the house because it's not possible. So in that case, maybe look for something. If you're connected to the internet and the internet is good, because also some of those places, the internet is not good either. Oh my goodness. This is why I'm telling you, you're better off staying in Kenya. I'm telling you, if you're gonna move to a place where you're stuck in the middle of nowhere and you're not able to do anything, you're not able to make money, you're not able even to access good internet, stay in Kenya, my sister, until you find a better place to move to. Or if you really love that guy, as I said, tell him to move to Kenya. Let you guys stay in Kenya. Anyway, let's leave it there for now. Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. Please, if you find this kind of videos useful, share my videos, share with somebody who might find them useful. And please consider subscribing to my channel. It goes a long way, to help my YouTube channel grow. And I shall see you on my next one. Bye bye for now.